Good afternoon, and welcome to Friday on Bad Dog Comedy TV, live on YouTube, and Stories with B. Please welcome your host, B. Bertrand.
Hi, friends. Hope you're having a nice day today. Welcome to the cutest, queerest little talk show about books. That's how I've decided I'm going to start branding this. I hope you're all having a nice day. So this is, I think we're almost into 2 months of Stories with B, and I'm super excited and stoked about having this show. I'm very grateful. It started at the beginning of quarantine. I have always kept all of my kids' books growing up, and I thought it might be kind of comforting and hopefully wholesome and lovely to just read a bedtime story each night to people, and it picked up, and here we are. So now we have a show every Friday at 4:30, and I get to have a special friend on, and I'm very excited about my special friend this week. She is somebody who's so talented and lovely. I met her as a comic, but she's so many other things. She's a photographer, and she is an overall entertainer and so lovely. And what makes this extra special, she's a mom, and her son likes the same books that I do. So everyone, please I never know how to introduce someone. Just give it up or give a warm welcome in the privacy of your homes or wherever you're watching for Crisia Valiente.
Woo!
Yay!
Thank you, B. How are you? This is how I
Fred.
clap on Zoom.
I love it. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Just enjoying the last summer days. I was going through my memories on Facebook. This is the opening weekend of the exhibition, which is so depressing to think there's not going to be one. But
Yeah,
we live on, you know?
I know everything's so weird, and we're all just doing our best and trying to figure out the best way to like do our art and fill our time and stuff like that. What have you been up to?
Well, really just riding my bike, which is like the best form of social distancing I've found. It's perfect 2 meters, and spending time with my son, and getting back into photography because now that comedy shows aren't happening inside, there's a lot more creative venues that are popping up, like public parks and people's backyards. So that's been good.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, I'm trying not to be distracted. I don't know if you can hear this, but my cat keeps trying to chew on my phone cord next to me, and I keep trying to like not just discreetly shoo him away.
Someone wants attention.
I know. I've been working so much, and he's very happy I'm home today, but he's being very naughty. So when you were young, were you into reading storybooks?
Well, actually, I didn't really get to keep a lot of things when I was a kid. I grew up in El Salvador, which is a country in Central America. It's a very small country, but they have a lot of problems. So my mom would just tell me stories in Spanish about her childhood. And I think that it really kept the tradition of being told a story before bed, even though they're different stories now, going with my son. It's one of those things that I really enjoy. And sometimes he'll fall asleep before the story's over. And if I stop talking, he'll wake up and he'll be like, finish the book. I'm like, go to sleep. So, yeah, I've developed a lot of favorites through him.
That's so lovely. I just realized I was so excited to talk to you. I forgot to do a cute little intro that I like to do with all of my special friends that I told you that I was going to do. So let's do it. I always like to start every show with, hey friends, I hope you're safe and warm and cozy, and I hope you have all your special things, and I hope you have your special drink. Do you have your special drink?
Yes, some coffee.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
I'm trying to drink a lot more water.
I find if I would drink water before I make the coffee, I don't feel as guilty.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I'll just like, you know how people say certain like 20 ounces of water? I'm like, what if
Yeah.
it's just all at the same time? I think that's still effective, right? If I just chug.
It is. That's impressive. It's impressive. I try and do it, but I get exhausted by it, which is very silly and doesn't make any sense. But good for you. It's important to drink your water. That's really sweet about your mom just telling you stories. I mean, that's so much more personal and interesting and lovely to develop like a ritual like that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that I don't have any stories to tell my kid, but we always have this like once upon a time that sort of breakdown of a story of like I'll just tell him a story about him. and I'll be like, there was a robot named Noah, and this robot decided to sail across the sky. And he's like, are you just making this up? So then he learned that he could just make up stories. And now he's a little liar, but he uses his imagination a lot. So I'm glad.
That's really lovely and very funny. What kind of stories? I'm just curious. It's such a rad dynamic that you have a kid. So do you find that you're into the same? Did you enjoy hearing the same kind of stories that he?
No, not
I
at
feel like
all.
no?
I think the main difference between my son and I is that the world he's living in, he literally was born with an iPad in his hand. Like there was no transition to technology. It was just always there. And so I think he's a lot more into like trends when kids are young, they like to collect things. So we go through like phases of like whatever's in style, and then the obsession dies down and then a new obsession starts. So right now he's really into Pokemon, and we like to read these little like Pokemon books, which are really cute because they're like a continuous story. So you don't just have the one book. And then I, of course, refuse to buy new books because I'm like, just go to Valley Village. And it's so funny because like now my son does that. Like before we'd go to shop or whatever, and he'd go to the toy section, and now he goes to the bookshelf to look for books that he likes. And it's really cute because I used to do that with my mom too. But I would get some like Archie comics, and he gets Pokemon.
That's so cute. Does he have a favorite book, or do even you have a favorite like kids book that you like?
Yeah, I do have a favorite kids book. It's a little bit sad. I think you've read it. It's Love You Forever by Robert Munsch.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorites, and it's the one that I would read to my son. And I think just the poetry of it, the repetition, it's a really good bedtime story. So
Yeah.
he would fall asleep reading that, and I was fortunate enough to find a Spanish version. Oh, and I told you I couldn't find it. I remembered. I gave it to my mom as a gift because we speak Spanish, and it was something that she would share with me because of the origin of the story. My mom lost a baby as well. So, well, actually two. So anyways, we'll talk about that some other time. But it was nice to grow up and have the meaning of that story change over time. And I think it will for my son as well. Seeing him grow up and then seeing the mom grow up in the story is also something that kids often forget, that parents are people.
Yeah, that's really true, and that's really lovely. I wish we had so much time to talk. I've enjoyed talking to you so much, but I like to end every time that I have with my special friends with asking about what their win was. And I know you have a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of really exciting stuff. I'm not that I'm pushing you to say that's your win, but if you want to talk about one win going on.
Yes, I'm planning my first photo exhibit on October 1st, 2020. It's a Thursday, which is my favorite day of the week.
Nice.
And I've hesitated to put my work out there because I don't think it's good enough. I don't think I'm good enough or worthy of success. And the more I'm honest about that, the better my work looks. Just in terms of like asking for help and then also being vulnerable in times of vulnerability. Like everyone feels like they need to be strong, and it's like, no, we're in a crisis. You can have personal crises. And so my personal win is overcoming the insecurity of producing art, because a lot of people don't consider comedy art. But photography literally is art. So comedy photography, I felt like wasn't art, which is such a like not good thing to say, but yeah. And we as artists need to be showcased and documented. And it's more photojournalism of how comedy has changed over the years, because no one was doing that when I started 3 years ago. So now I'm able to reflect, and I actually have something to say. So I'm not afraid to yeah, I'm not afraid to speak up about my wins. I guess that's my win.
That's amazing. I think there's one particular picture. I mean, everything that you said is so relatable, and it's so easy to talk ourselves out of what we're doing isn't good enough and it's not art. I mean, I love you and I think you're so talented and great. And there's one picture that I have is like, it might be the only picture that I have of me on stage that I feel comfortable with, that I feel seen and happy with. And I think that you're so wonderful and talented. And I'm really proud of you for pushing through all that and putting your stuff
Yeah.
out there. That's huge. Everything is so weird now. And to be doing anything and putting our name to it is so brave and big. So that's really wonderful. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, me too. Because in this ever-changing life, there are some things that should remain treasured and honored. And I think that photography for me was one of the biggest things. Like having pictures of my grandma, shooting with a film camera. I think that was the biggest bond I had with my mom. She would always buy cameras and wouldn't know how to use them, so I would teach her. And I was a little kid, so I ended up benefiting from that. And now I can buy my own cameras and my own lenses, and it's a really good thing. It's like a stress release.
That's wonderful.
Release,
How,
release.
that's wonderful. How can people follow you?
Okay, well, I'm at Make Me Laugh TO on Instagram and all platforms. And my website is www.makemelaughtO.com. It's a free comedy directory for Toronto artists. So if you are a Canadian, or sorry, a Toronto-based comic, you can sign up for free and have a profile with your own URL that you can present to producers or just people who want to book you if you don't have your own website. And that's it.
That's wonderful. Well, the book that I'm gonna read today, I am going to give to you when I'm done, because my girlfriend actually bought it for me to read on for one of the stories with B, and she specifically told me to make sure that I give it away to somebody who would love it. And I know that I feel like I'm trying not to tell what it is first before I say our goodbyes, but I'm definitely going to make sure that I get it to you. I'll drive it over to you, or this week, whatever works for you. But I
That's
wanted to,
awesome.
yeah,
I'm
for sure.
really, I'm like super excited now because I was like not gonna buy it.
That's fair. Well, she got it at Glad Day, but Glad Day and A Different Book List are two stores that just have lovely, super
Oh
diverse,
yeah,
wonderful
I
books
actually
together.
have a bookstore like that. It's old school general store, and they have like amazing revolutionary stuff. I actually got a book there about like moms and like separated families to read to my son about introducing my boyfriend to this picture and stuff like that. So I do buy books. I just don't. I'm gonna go to Glad Day. I was like, I have money. It's okay.
Yeah, no, you don't have to, and you don't need to go anywhere. But I just wanted to know people to know that there are different places they could go that have diverse books, because I've said before that I love all the books that I have from growing up, but they aren't diverse because there wasn't really available. Or, I mean, as a white family, I had books about, if there was any people in it, they were white, or mostly it was just about animals and stuff. But now there's like books on all types of families and all races of families and
Mhm.
queer kids, and like it's just
It's
really lovely and diverse. And I'm getting a bunch of new books, and I'm very excited about that.
it's an easy way to explain difficult, complex issues to children.
Yeah, totally. Man, Chrissia, you got to come back. I feel like I want to talk to you so much. I have to read this book, but I just
Okay,
adore
read the
you. And
book.
thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you have a lovely day, and I am very proud of you. You're doing your best, and your best is good enough. And I'm proud of you, and I love you, and I really appreciate you. And thanks again for doing the show.
Thanks, B. It was so much fun. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out.
Thanks, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. That was lovely. We're definitely going to have Chrissia back on because she's so much fun to talk to, and I feel like we have so much more to talk about. But friends, buckle up. I'm going to read to you Karamo Brown from I Never Know How to Deal with This Mirrored. Okay. From Queer Eye, he wrote a book with his son called I Am Perfectly Designed. And my lady friend bought it for me to read, and I'm very excited about that. So let's get into it. All the drawings are so cute. There's all the guys from Queer Eye. Okay, look how sweet that little boy is. Okay, I think if I hold it closer to my face, this whole mirrored thing will work out. First there was you, Dad. Then there was me. And now there is us. That's right, now there is us. When you first saw me, you said, he is perfectly designed from his head to his toes. And I meant every word. I still do. So I hope this is a conversation between him and his son, which is really lovely. I don't really want to change my voice, but I hope that you can tell which person is saying who. I forgot about that part of it. Sorry, friends. When I was a baby, I looked just like you. Only I had no hair and you had lots. Now it's the opposite. So true. Remember that? I had such a big baby head. Indeed, but your big baby head was perfectly designed for you. It's really cute. When I was real little, I thought you could touch the moon. Remember that? We'd sit on the roof and reach for it. One day you'll be big enough to reach it yourself. But until then, it's perfectly fine to ask for help. Remember when we went as syrup and waffles for Halloween, Dad? Haha, I do. That was awesome. I wonder what will be this year. I'm going to try and turn the light to make sure that you can see these really, really sweet pictures. When I run in the park, jump in the park, climb trees in the park, and pretend I'm a statue in the park, you remind me I am perfectly designed to explore the world. You are, and you always will be. There's just a sweet little picture. Having a little picnic. Sometimes, Dad, when I get mad, or sad, or confused, you wrap me in your arms. I like that. Me too, and I remind you that you are perfectly designed and wonderful, no matter what you're feeling. Dad, when I grow up and leave home, will you miss me? Yes, very much. Will you go into my room and play with my race cars and stuffed animals? You know I will. Will you sit on the fire escape and feed the pigeons like we do in the summer? The pigeons and the sparrows. Will you remember our favorite movies? Our favorite moves? I will, and I'll invent some new ones too. Dad, will you always think of me? Always. You know what, Dad? What? I will always remember walking through the city and sitting on your shoulders, and maybe when you're older and I'm taller, I can carry you on mine because we are perfectly designed for each other. That's right. And then and there's a picture of him and his son. I love this book. Then it says, Dear reader, it's always been a dream of mine to write a story inspired by the many lessons my father has taught me. When I was growing up, anytime I felt fear or uncertainty, my father would remind me that I was perfectly designed. Knowing that at an early age really instilled self-love and confidence in me, which had been hard to find on my own. Now that I'm older, it's easier to walk with my head held up proudly. My father and I felt it was only right to give this message to you. We want readers to never forget that just being your natural self is perfect. It's beautiful in every sense. We know how hard it is to think otherwise, but you can't stop telling yourself this until you feel it. Like everything in life, it takes some time, but with repetition, you will learn to walk with your head held higher than the Eiffel Tower. That was Jason, who is Karamo's son, and then Karamo wrote, "That's exactly right." And that's I'm Perfectly Designed. And I think that was the most lovely book to read with Chrissia because of what we talked about. And it's lovely full circle. And I'm definitely going to make sure you get that and you can read it to Noah. Thanks for hanging out with me, friends. I just really appreciate this time that we get to spend on Fridays. I really look forward to it. And I feel like it is this wholesome, kind little boost that I need. And we have this every Friday at 4:30. And I feel like I have so many things that I want to say. My brain's getting jumbled up, but I appreciate you and I'm really proud of you. And I hope that you all have a wonderful day today. Whatever type of day you have, just know that you did your best and your best is more than good enough. And I'm proud of you and I appreciate you. And please try and be gentle with yourself and count the wins, even if they're little. If you feel they're little, they're not. They're often bigger than we kind of think. And drink water and wear a mask. And keep having tough conversations and being proactive and making sure all of our brothers and sisters and non-binary friends are safe, warm, and cozy too. I love you very much. I appreciate you. And thank you so much to Bad Dog for letting me have this show. Thanks to Coco for asking me to do this show and always give me such lovely feedback. If you like to hang out, and even if this is your first time, there's a donation link right down here. Everybody's just doing our best and we're working so hard. And if you can, if you're able to donate, that would mean the world because everyone's working real hard and putting in their best efforts and stuff. And it takes a lot of money too, to put all these shows together. Bad Dog always has at least 2 shows a day. So thank you. I appreciate you. Follow Chrissia, follow me on social media, B Bertrand or B Bertrand Comedy on Instagram. I love you. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon, friends. Thanks for hanging out.